Every morning, commuters hurry past the memorial, barely giving it a glance. It stands quietly at the edge of the park, its stone polished smooth by decades of rain and sun. Hundreds of names are carved into its surface, arranged in careful rows. To most, it's just another monument, another reminder of a war long finished. But one name near the bottom seems to catch the light differently. Daniel Mercer, no rank. No dates beyond a year of birth and a year of death. Just a name. On a cool autumn afternoon, a young woman named Emily stops in front of it. Her father stands a few steps back, hat in his hands, eyes fixed on the stone. Emily doesn't understand why this name matters, only that her father grew quiet when he found it. "That's your grandfather," he finally says. Emily stares at the letters. "I never knew him. Most people didn't," her father replies. "But there's a whole life behind that name." Daniel Mercer was born in a small Midwestern town where everyone knew everyone. He was the kind of kid teachers called steady, not the loudest or the smartest, just reliable. He fixed bicycles for neighborhood kids, helped his mother with groceries, and worked part-time at a hardware store before he was old enough to drive. When war broke out, Daniel was 19. He didn't make grand speeches about glory or patriotism. He simply stood in line at the recruitment office because he believed some responsibilities just couldn't be ignored. He hugged his mother, shook his father's hand, and promised he'd be back by Christmas. He never was. Training changed him. The quiet kid learned discipline, learned how to move when fear told him to freeze. His letters home were short but careful. He never described the fighting. Instead, he wrote about the weather, the food, and the friends he was making, men from cities he'd never seen, with accents he'd never heard. One letter ended with a line his mother would read 1,000 times. "Tell Dad not to worry. I'm doing my job." The battlefield was nothing like he'd imagined. The noise never stopped. Sleep came in fragments. Loss arrived without warning. Friends who were joking one day were gone the next. Daniel learned to carry weight, both physical and emotional, without complaint. When others broke down, he stayed calm. When supplies ran low, he shared what little he had. His commanding officer once noted in a report that he was dependable under pressure. Daniel would have hated that description. He didn't see himself as brave. He just thought someone had to keep going. The day he died wasn't in a heroic charge or a famous battle. It was an ordinary patrol. An explosion. Confusion. Smoke. Daniel pulled 2 injured soldiers to safety before going back for a third. He never made it. When the smoke cleared, he was found close enough to touch the man he was trying to save. He was 21 years old. Back home, the telegram arrived on a quiet afternoon. Daniel's mother collapsed into a chair, the paper trembling in her hands. His father read the message twice, folded it carefully, and put it in his pocket, as if hiding it could make it less real. The town held a service. Flags were folded. Speeches were made. People called Daniel a hero. But after everyone left, there was just an empty bedroom, tools hanging in the garage, and a chair at the dinner table that would never be filled again. Life moved on, but it was never the same. Years passed. Daniel's parents grew older. His friends married and had children. The war faded into history books. And slowly people stopped asking who Daniel Mercer was. Back at the memorial, Emily listens as her father finishes the story. "He was my dad," he says quietly. "But he died before I could remember him. Everything I know comes from letters and stories." Emily traces the carved letters with her fingers. "It's strange," she says. "All of that. And it just comes down to this." Her father nods. "That's why memorials matter. They don't tell the whole story, but they remind us there is one." Before they leave, Emily places a small flower at the base of the stone. It's a quiet gesture, unnoticed by the world. But for a moment, Daniel Mercer is more than just a name. He is a son who fixed bicycles, a friend who wrote careful letters, and a soldier who went back when he didn't have to. Because behind every name on a memorial is a story the world almost forgot. As long as someone stops to remember that life still matters. Thank you for watching. If this story moved you, please consider sharing it so more stories like Daniel's are not forgotten. Subscribe for more content that remembers the lives behind the names.